Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Peter. This is Peter Fiction, the place where we do not have the brains for literary fiction. Welcome back to another week, another video. So today I was feeling a bit positive and I'm not used to it. So let's add some negativity in the world. I decided to talk about the worst rated books on my bookshelf, the ones that I read and rated the worst. Looking back to the books that I rated 1 or 2 stars, I was surprised to see that there were only a few of them. I think when I was younger, I rated all the books that I read very high, and if I read some of the books that I read in the past now, I think they would fall into this category in the worst books that I have ever read. But yeah, it is what it is. I was once young and dumb and I made some mistakes. It's okay, we all make mistakes in our lives. I will not be talking about every single one that I gave 2 or 1 stars to, but some that really stood out in the worst books category. And also, since I recently been clocked about not talking about the synopsis of books enough, like people apparently want to know what books are about, like, hello, why? What? I will try to do my best to talk about what each of the books that I will talk about is about. You have to look forward to that, I guess. So without any further ado, let's get on with the video. First up on my list of worst books, I could not start this video with another author than Frida motherfucking McFadden. So for this, I will only mention 2 books that I read. I gave both of them 1 star to, and for me those are The Locked Door and Death Row. The Locked Door is the worst book that I've ever read. Frida's books are bad, but this book exceeded all the bad expectations. This book is basically a girl who has a father that is a serial killer, and he was caught and he is now in prison, and she is now a doctor, and some of her patients start dying in the exact same way that her father used to kill people, and now she's a main suspect because if someone follows a pattern, they must be related to the killer. Like, what? Spoiler alert. The killer is related to the father, but it's not the main character. This book, it didn't make sense. It was weird AF. I hated it. Even the ending, the reveal of who the killer was, the motive of the killer, it was, I don't know. I don't want to say who the killer is. If you want to know who the killer is, maybe you should read it, but I wouldn't recommend, so I will tell you right now. It's a sister she didn't know she had, and it's her personal assistant at work. So yeah, that's a spoiler, I guess. She had a sister that she didn't know about, and the killer is the sister, and she didn't like how the main character was treating their serial killer father. Make it make sense. Anyway, it's a dumb book. And the other is Death Row, and I'm still trying to get this out of my head because it was so bad, and it's only 100 pages or something. It's a short book, and this is basically one woman who is waiting to be unalived by death row, and all her thoughts leading up to the moment of that. And she was an overachiever with this book, let's just say that, and she fell short. Anyway, Frida, I hated these books. So yeah, I will keep on reading your other books, Dear Debbie and The Intruder. Please come out sooner. Yeah. The next book that I will be talking about is A Gathering of Shadows by V.E. Schwab, or A Gathering of One-Dimensional Characters. Am I right? This series, this trilogy in general wasn't the best for me. It's basically a story where there are 3 or 4, I don't remember, different versions of London. Red London, White London, Grey and Black London. The main character has an ability to transport himself between the different versions of London, and they basically fight for power. It was a good premise. I really liked the story going in, but the main problem with me was the main characters. Apart from the main character, we didn't get to know the rest of them. The female main character, I don't even remember her name. She was so flat. She suffered from I'm not like other girls syndrome, and it wasn't cute. But the main reason why I gave the second book 2 stars and the others 3 stars is because the second book promised a kind of tournament, and I'm a sucker for tournaments and games and stuff like that. And the tournament, literally, I think the book was a bit over 400 pages, and the tournament began at 350. Like, it was almost in the end, and it wasn't that impactful. Like, the challenges were so simple, and I didn't really like it. So this is why it was below 3 stars for me. I wasn't the biggest fan of it. So yeah, but I want to read the other books by V. Schwab, like Vicious, Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil. I have read Addie LaRue and it was a 5-star read, so I like V. Schwab for sure. Next up, I have to mention 2 Adam Silvera books, like History Is All You Left Me First. I gave it 2 out of 5 stars. I didn't like it at all. Like, even the premise, 2 guys that shared a partner, like, not in different times, like one is the ex and one is the new boyfriend, and this boyfriend dies and they bond over the death of the partner that they shared. I didn't like it, the dynamic between the 2 of them, and if I was the boyfriend, I would get out of my grave and I would smash their heads against each other, like, no. And the execution as well wasn't really good for me. And also, they both die at the end. I've mentioned this book in one of my previous videos. I didn't like it. Like, if I had received a call that I was gonna die within the next 24 hours, I would want to be with loved ones and with friends, or if I had a relationship with my relationship, or I don't know, I wouldn't just find a random person to spend the last day with. And for me, it's all the stories that involve development of loving feelings and affectionate feelings within a span of a few hours. It's not believable. Even in the setting of being dead in a few hours, yeah, I don't like it. So I won't be reading the rest of the series. But I have read More Happy Than Not by Adam Silvera, and it was amazing. And I wouldn't say no to reading other stuff by this author. Next up, the next book that I want to mention is This Is How You Lose the Time War. Or This Is How You Lose Your Time in general by reading this book. This book was the first literary fiction book that I have read. It's basically 2 women, they're both spies, and they come for the future where one version of this future, the health studies, the biological studies have prevailed and the future looks like this. And the other future, the machines and the technological studies have won and they have that version of the future. I don't know, it's been many years that I've read it, and they exchange love letters to each other. It's a sapphic romance. I loved the letters that they exchanged, how they wrote to each other, but that was it. I didn't like the story. Even if it was a short book, it kept dragging and dragging and dragging, and I felt like it was going nowhere. Yes, protect women in STEM, I guess, but are they giving us anything worth protecting? I actually bought this book as a present to one of my best friends, and I read it only so I can highlight and make comments that I think she would find funny. And by the end, it was like 30 pages with no comments because my attention was not there, and I wasn't reading actually the book. So yeah, I lost my time. The next books I'm going to mention are part of the same series, and they are by Maureen Johnson. They are the 4th and 5th book in the Truly Devious series, The Box in the Woods and 9 Liars. I liked the original trilogy because it gave us time to both get to know the characters and also be invested in the mystery. And then when the author decided to continue the series with new mysteries, and every book has a new mystery, I think she did not take enough time to explore the mystery, and it was a bit surface level mystery. Also, since it's YA, it felt very juvenile, and the characters like so much teenage angst and drama, and maybe this is why I'm not enjoying them as much as I would if it was a bit more mature. But yeah, it's still some kind of guilty pleasure, this series, for me. So I think she just announced the next book in the series that is coming out in November, and I will definitely be reading it because they're quick reads and they're fun, and they're not the best in quality wise mystery books, but they're fun. So yeah, I will be reading the next one. Next up is The Wishing Game by Meg, I think something. Let me tell you about The Wishing Game. Like, The Wishing Game, it's basically a story. It's the ultimate dream of a book lover because In this story, the main character is invited by her favorite author, who is now a billionaire. Yeah, it's fiction. He has a private island and he invites four of his biggest fans to take part in some quests and some riddles. And I think the winner will be responsible for receiving all the profit of the next book of the author, something like that. And it's a life-changing opportunity. But the problem is, two main problems. The main character, first up, the main character is a teacher and she has a student who is orphaned and he's living in foster care. And she has promised the little kid that she's going to adopt him, even though she has no money or prospect in life. She has filled this kid's head of ideas about being a family and stuff, even though she has no security, nothing is certain, and he might end up with a different family whatsoever. And she is messing with his kid's head like it's crazy. And the second thing is, these people that go to participate in the riddles, they're now adults and they were fans of the author when they were kids, and they have no excitement for what they're taking part in. Like, it was so anticlimactic, like, reading about it. If I was there, I would be fanboying for, I don't know, for everything. If Suzanne Collins called me and said, "Hey boy, you wanna take part in the real life Hunger Games?" I was like, yeah, kill me now. No one was excited. And that was the main issue with me. Also, honestly, the riddles were a bit simple and dumb, and probably the kid that is waiting for the main character at home would figure them out sooner than the rest. Yeah, the wishing game made me wish I was lobotomized. Next up is Five Survive by Holly Jackson. This book is not that offensive as the rest of them. It was basically a group of friends who rent an RV for spring break, and they travel somewhere far from home to have fun, and they take a turn at night and in the woods. Yeah, because you should always drive in an abandoned place in the woods for no reason. They encounter some issues and the RV stops, and there's someone with a sniper outside the RV, and they say to the people inside that one of you has a secret that I need to know what it is, or otherwise I will kill you all. It was fun in paper, but in reality, I didn't really like it. I didn't like the characters, not one of them. I didn't like what the secret was because I thought it was a bit predictable. I liked the writing. Holly Jackson is a good writer, I can assure you of that. And maybe I should try some other book by her. Five Survive, yeah, maybe this book shouldn't have survived the publishing process. Next up, we have Let's Split Up by Bill Wood. Bill Wood is a fellow content creator, like we are colleagues basically, and he announced that he was going to publish this book last year, and he said that it was Scooby-Doo meets Scream meets Pretty Little Liars, which I love all three of them, so I was quite hyped to read this book. But the main issue I think with this book is the characters. Like, they were so one-dimensional, and it was so much telling instead of showing in this book. Like, in the very first chapter, we get this monologue by one of the main characters that said, "Oh, I love this person, but he's my best friend, and how can I ruin the friendship, and how can I tell him that I love him," and stuff like that. And we could just see it evolving. We shouldn't just be learning about this in an internal monologue. Like, no one does this. I don't just sit in my chair and say in my head, "Oh, how I hate Frida McFadden. Oh, I wish Frida McFadden would stop writing books." No, I don't do it. I just think about it when I have some kind of interaction with Frida, like reading a single word of one of her books. Like, yeah, it doesn't happen, and it was not realistic. And also the mystery, again, it was a bit predictable, and I didn't love the writing style. I think it required more edits and maybe another draft, but yeah, this wasn't it. Next up, we have The Toll, which is the third book in the Scythe trilogy, which I loved. The first two books, I gave them 5 stars, and the third book, I gave it 2 stars. It was very well written, but the main issue for me was I lost interest because the 2 POVs that we had in the first 2 books were not very active in the third book. Like, I think one of them was in a coma. Sorry for the spoiler. I wasn't connected to the new POVs that we had, and also I think in this book the author decided to make a more literary spin. And yeah, if the series from the first book was literary, yeah, I wouldn't have a problem with that. But the first two books weren't like this, so I wasn't ready for something like this. And it was also that the third book was much longer than the first two. And also, in the end, they didn't even find a solution for the problem. Like, they put it under the rug and they kept going. It's a good book, but it wasn't for me, I think. And the last one I want to talk about it is the most recent book that I've read, and it's part of the book club that I have with my friends. We are reading it in September, and that book is One Dark Window by Rachel Gillig. Rachel Gillig is such a talented writer. I really love the writing style and how she approaches the story with her writing. She gives it such an interesting spin. The reason why I gave it 2 stars is because, first of all, I didn't connect to the main character. Second of all, I think I had some issues with the pacing of the story. We were at a party that I think it took more than a third of the book for one party. I kept reading and I kept reminding myself that we are still at this party and nothing really was happening in that party, and I got bored and I want to leave this party because I want to go home and read a book. I don't want to be at a party. There were no subplots whatsoever. There was only one plot point and we kept following it for the entire book. And also the main character has an ability that makes her useful for the cause of the rebels, and they got her to be in their team and they achieved what they wanted to achieve, but they didn't actually need her. The way that they made things happen showed me that she wasn't necessary after all. So yeah, I'm now reading the second book and it's much better. I don't want to say more things because I don't want to give away my thoughts before discussing it with my friends in the book club, and I know they're watching this right now. Maybe they're the only ones, but thank you. These were all the books that I wanted to discuss right now. These are my worst rated books. And again, I think if I reread some books that I gave 3 or 4 stars, maybe they would be ranked lower now, but it's okay. I don't want to do that. Let me know down in the comments some of the books that you have read recently and you gave it less than maybe 2 stars. Let's spread negativity to the world. If you've reached this part of the video, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for your time and assistance. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe to my channel so you can get notified about when I post new videos. Please take care of yourselves because I want you to buy my book one day. And yeah, I will see you in the next video. Bye.